We are the Master Traitors podcast.
Master Traitors,
We
Master
are the Master Traitors podcast.
we're Master Traitors, we're Master Traitors, Master Traitors.
Love it. Oh my goodness, it's so spooky up in here, and that's because the Traitors are at it again, and their numbers are increasing. Hi, I'm your Snake Daddy, your Cheeseburger Princess, your Shitposter Supreme, Matt Keck, and alongside me is Detective Pikachu himself.
Paul Ferrets in a Sack Shields.
Oh, man, let me tell you, before we even get into it, this is a Bercow all-timer.
Oh, he was amazing, this freaking
banger
deal.
after banger. This guy put out his thriller in this episode, and but we'll get right into it. We got left on that cliffhanger. They wanted Phaedra was
Should we
given,
introduce ourselves?
Oh, I mean, yeah. We probably
what
should.
We do?
We probably should. We probably should.
We
I don't
don't
know.
have to.
No, I think we should because, like, I just always just jump right always in. Anyways, hey, what's up? We're two comedians from Kansas City, but the reason we like this show so much is because we play a board game called Ultimate Werewolf. Ultimate Werewolf is essentially the same rules of the same game, and we used to get drunk every weekend and play this all night long, hours and hours of Ultimate Werewolf. We first found it at a convention in Ohio. Shout out to Hatsy. But we've learned the ins and outs of how to play a game like this. We've learned how to read different types of people who do a game like this. We've learned how to try and trick different people, what different strategies there are, and it's really nice to be able to watch a game like this with the perspective of having played before. You see all the mistakes, and you definitely will hear us complaining about it. And I don't think this first move was a mistake. I think this first move was a perfect move, and that was Phaedra picking Kate.
Agreed.
And, I mean, Kate's in the position where she almost has to say yes, like she says, but I mean...
Well, yeah, they put it. They were like, you have to either be out of the game or join because they didn't want another Peter.
Right. The last thing they wanted was Phaedra to just be out and then just to all be faithfuls. Right.
Yeah. These guys have done a lot of stuff during this thing that have made the producers be like, gosh dang it.
They are winning.
We got to stop. There's going to be 4 episodes of this.
As much shit as I've talked on Peter and will continue to talk on Peter, he has been effective. They have been finding the traitors. And... I mean, of course she says yes. She says yes because, of course, she would, and we thought she would. And she does love a dramatic cloak. She does love, secret gossip. I mean, she's a perfect fit, right? And immediately they start talking shit. She accepts, and they have to go back to kill someone, which I'm excited about.
I didn't think they were going to have to kill someone. Then when they do, I was like, oh, then they might not think there's a new
extra traitor, right?
This time,
right?
So that's a good move.
Agreed.
That was a good move.
I agree. And so, I think one of the best lines from this part when they're talking shit is Phaedra mentions that it was just her and Dan in the beginning, and she says he was dry Melba toast, no butter, no jam. Agreed. Dan fucking sucks. Sorry, Dan, you Melba toast ass motherfucker.
But below deck Kate doesn't go. She's like, so you've been here the whole time?
Yeah.
And you don't got a plan?
I know. She immediately is upset. She's like, she has a bad liar, but she says she's a bad liar, but then she comes in and she's like, Phaedra, what are you even doing? And that's true. Phaedra, the whole time, Phaedra's just kind of let the other traitors do what they want and get found. She gets called out on it a little later.
I think that's part of the problem with the traitors. They don't have a plan.
Right. That's been the big problem. No plan from the beginning.
They're going off the hip just as much as the faithfuls have been.
Exactly. I think Dan maybe had a plan, but he was the first one out. So then they just... I mean, Parvati just was a mess, and then Phaedra just did whatever they wanted. So, of course, Kate comes in like, what did I get myself into?
Phaedra's like, hey, well, so what should we do? She's like, what?
And so they both talk about how much they hate Kevin, which we have done many times. Sorry, Kev, you are disgusting, you're dumb, you're wild. But, I mean, it's fine. You're kind of cute. But they also consider killing Trishelle, who we know has a shield. So those are the two that I think are getting heavy consideration when we go to breakfast. Now, Kate's one of the first ones in at breakfast, and she's immediately talking about Peter. Like, from the beginning, she's dropping lines about Peter.
Yeah.
And I think her and Phaedra together both realized that might be Phaedra's best way out.
Oh, yeah.
And it then becomes the major theme of the show.
I mean, she was already on Peter before she knew she was the traitor.
Totally.
She was already giving him
Peter's
shit.
played too strong, so he's left himself open. He's given himself some weaknesses, and now he's got to play catch-up because early on, they're doing a good job. They're getting the seeds of doubt out there early. A line I liked was that Kate said she doesn't smoke weed because it makes her too paranoid. Anyone who started watching the video version of this podcast can tell very clearly I do smoke weed. Lots of it. But I don't get as paranoid as Kate does, and she was paranoid for good reason. MJ called her out immediately.
Oh, my God. MJ was like, dude, Kate must have been way different than what she normal, because...
What did she do?
Yeah.
Immediately.
I don't know.
She just looked over and goes, "What's going on, Kate?" What?
I know. There were four people.
It was like her mom, like knowing she was pregnant, they do. Like how, it's like she had this weird intuition, like their faithfulness had synced up while they've been in this house.
Before or something. I don't
guess.
know. In case, like, what? Quit calling me out, MJ.
Yeah, yo, you're blowing up my spot.
I like how I like how she goes. I think she says something about, I don't know what to do. I'm not a good liar. She'll eat the salmon. I don't know. That's gonna make me look like a traitor, right? No, I don't know. Don't eat the salmon. Eat the salmon. That's gonna be. And I'm like, well.
And then Phaedra's just like, I love waffles. She doesn't care at all. Every time she's like, this food's great. It's like, yeah, damn, I agree. That's how I would do it. I will say, at this point, it's leading up to who gets killed at the breakfast, and they do one of those, like, commercial break cliffhanger things, and I'm assuming it's because they're going to show it on a channel at some point, but man, that makes me I get the end of episode cliffhangers.
Yeah,
totally makes me mad, but I get it. But man, these middle of the episodes I'm watching, and it's like a minute and a half of like zooming in on everyone's shocked face and then it cuts to black, and then I get the exact same minute and a half of zoomed in shocked faces. Well, come on, let's get rid of it.
That happens on all
I know.
Those reality
shows
because they want to repeat it.
Let's leave that in Y2K with Survivor in the real world. Like, get it out of here. But I get an end of episode cliffhanger, and I mean, I'm fine with it. I get it; it builds the tension, right? But maybe trim it a little. I don't need to see 5 shots of every character. Anyways, Kevin's dead. Yeah, they kill Kevin. I love that they went back and showed them talking more shit on Kevin. She was like, "I want to spin that tail. Put him in a tailspin."
Couldn't believe he was. This far.
I kept putting him on my top 3 just to make you mad.
He was freaking terrible. You had him at number 2 last time.
For the last like 2 or 3 times. I
was like, are you shitting me
I knew
right
he
now?
was. I mean, I knew he wasn't winning, but hey, I do love. Okay, so Kevin gets the letter, and he's the first guy to ask if he could keep it. And I love that so much. I was watching it with my wife Amber, and she goes, "That's what I would do. I would ask for it." and I get it. Put it in your scrapbook or something, a little memento.
Why would you assume you couldn't keep it? It's
just
a piece of paper.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll let you keep it. Yeah. I've stolen way better stuff off the sets that I was way less important on.
I mean, even if you didn't let you keep it, just freaking write one out and say they let you keep it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's easy.
Agreed. Yeah, just photocopy it, man. It'll be fine.
It says your name on it. They don't need it.
Yeah. They really don't need it. I mean, unless they keep them somewhere.
They want to like auction them off or something.
Posterity, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
I highly doubt they've been keeping those.
Yeah, I don't.
Because someone has to have at least crumpled one up.
Oh, mate, what if they'd had a collection of them and then just...
And Kevin's the only one missing because he's greedy.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no, this is mine.
And this
You
is
can't
missing.
have it. Kevin's the worst until the end. The worst until the
Season
end.
92 of Traitors. They
So-
come back and they find the box of the old Traitors, and there's one missing.
Where's Kevin?
Who
The
is
return
this?
of Kevin.
Kevin ate the message.
He's back and he's eating with his
Kevin's
mouth open. He's eating with his mouth open from beyond the grave. Brains oozing out of his mouth. I think them not picking Trishelle here obviously was great luck, and it hurts Peter a lot, honestly.
I think it's a move that... Yeah, they had to pick someone.
Right, and they just got lucky, honestly, because they
Yeah.
didn't know she didn't have the
But
that she
Kevin,
had the shield.
if I was going to assume one,
Yeah.
Kevin would be the one I would assume didn't
Totally.
have it because he was inside of the cabin the whole time.
Oh, yeah. It's just interesting because they didn't even discuss the shield.
right.
Like, they didn't even think about either of them having
I think when
it.
somebody said something about somebody having a shield.
Oh,
but
yeah, maybe
once,
they did.
But then
right.
it was like they didn't factor it in or anything.
Yeah. So, I mean, great luck for them. Horrible luck for Peter because he loses a number. And, you know, he needs the numbers in this episode because they don't have them right now. Everyone's
yeah.
against Peter.
No, they're gone.
You know, they're trying to turn Trishelle on Peter at the beginning, even. Like, the
Did you
one
s-
who's, like, full on not gonna turn because I'm pretty sure Sweet D is in love with Peter.
Oh,
but,
yeah, I think so. Did you see at the breakfast table, and then it's the last person to knock? It was like, I think it was Trishelle coming in. Last person to knock, and they knock. And you see John go, "Pwah!"
Yes. Listen,
He's scared out of his
it doesn't
mind.
it doesn't
I think it woke him up.
It doesn't take a lot to startle a hobbit. You know, a big firework will do it.
That was the
and
start. I was like, this is
Trishelle-
gonna be a great episode for John.
Oh,
Look
yeah.
at that.
Honestly, that moment probably is what turned the Hulk on. You're right. I think you're right. He because man,
You
from
woke
that
him up out of hibernation.
Ooh, and man, because he has an episode too.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
early on, Phage was going at Peter pretty hard, which obviously is the only move. It's a very smart move. You know, there's only 3 left of Peter's posse,
Right.
like the Fabulous Five or whatever they called themselves. So they gotta sway people.
Yeah.
They think early on that maybe Sandra and CT are the people to sway.
So what's your move? What's your move in this choice?
If
Let's say you're
I'm
Peter.
them, I'm Peter right now. Honestly, I think CT is a smart move because he's a game player. You can talk him through theory on stuff. You can apologize for leaving him out, and you can start including him more, and I think he'll be on your side. I think he seems like one who could be easy to convince because he's willing to reason. You know who I think that they should talk to that they haven't more is Sheree, and I think they miss.
so?
I think they
I think
miss.
Sheree is just with.
I think she would normally be, but I think they miss a very key moment and focus on a lot of other moments during the crossbow game that I'll bring up when we get there. But I think later in the day, Sheree would be who I'd look at, actually. But early in the day, I think CT makes sense. I think I would try to convince... I would actually probably try to convince Kate because I wouldn't know she's a traitor right now. I would probably talk to her and try to convince her.
I think now, after the whole thing over, because I think I know what you're talking about with the deal.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about when
Where
Phaedra
Phaedra
chooses
to
her
go for her immediately at
out
the
of-
beginning, and
yeah.
she gives her a look like,
Yeah.
huh? Yeah,
yeah, and then
cracking the armor.
then
Because she's
after-
been hearing the whispers about Phaedra, and she's not she's not dumb.
I think you're right.
They
now.
just
I
haven't
think
been-
after the whole
Right.
day went by.
Totally.
At the beginning, I don't think so.
No, at the beginning I would have probably talked to Kate not knowing she was a traitor, which would have been a bad move,
Yeah.
but that's who I would have. But who knows? Honestly, you know,
Yeah.
maybe you could
I mean,
convince
you
Kate
do
to
have to
throw her
sway
under the
somebody.
bus.
That's just the move.
And
That's
and if
have
you
to.
convince Kate that everyone's gonna go after Phaedra, potentially she would throw her under the bus anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess there was no one else to put it on, huh? It was just either Peter.
I mean, MJ you could try to talk to.
Well, I just meant as to get somebody to vote for.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess
Peter
there
was the
not-
biggest target that you could deflect to.
Yeah.
I forgot about Alan's outfit.
Oh yeah, you didn't rate.
I got to go back to Alan's outfit. We're talking about a classic green-blue tartan, a nice billowy neck, head to toe. It's nice and solid, fits well, but it's fairly standard, I would say, with not a lot of pomp and circumstance. I'd say this isn't a big Peacock moment for Alan, which is fine, but I'd be I'd be remiss to give him a full 5 of 5, so I'm going to give him a standard 3 of 5, a good solid look.
Ooh, solid, yeah.
I think it's a nice one to have in the repertoire, but it's not like showing out for sure.
Infinity scarf +1.
Yeah, I mean it's like a double infinity scarf for sure. Like infinity times infinity. Yeah, Peter, he played too hard. He's reaping what he sowed, but
Yeah.
we got a Ferg alert. Fergus is ringing the bell, and it's time to go to the old church. Now, this was another good Kate line. She's going to get struck by lightning while she's at the church, not because I'm a whore, because I'm a traitor. Same. I like the church vibe. It's kind of cool.
I thought they were going to do the church thing that they did the first season.
And what was that?
The first season they had a deal where they had a bunch of people sitting in the pews already on each side, and then they had to figure out which one had a certain thing, I think. But they didn't have all the people lined up, so I was like, oh, okay, it's not that.
It's going to be a little different. Yeah, this time they had these creepy gold mask druids that were in there. Kind of looked like an Undertaker WrestleMania entrance. Hey, people are on Peacock. Maybe they watch wrestling. I don't know. And so, honestly, as I'm watching this, though, I'm starting to think, like, this church isn't that creepy. Like,
oh, no. It's not a creepy church.
No. There's, like, it kind of looks like I used to go up to Iowa. My great-grandparents lived up there, and they had this old Lutheran church we'd go to. And it basically just looked like that. Like, just some stained glass windows. No big deal. A little bit of concrete.
You gotta, to get a creepy church, you gotta either go full, like, old shacky freaking
wood,
taming snakes type of church deal. Freaking, or
handling them snakes,
or like solid big cathedral-y. Those can be creepy too.
Like those old Romanian, like
some kind of Vatican type of
where
thing.
you're like pretty sure there's some catacombs with like bones of old.
Oh, there
nuns.
are catacombs.
Yeah,
just catacombs, Matt.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but like under all these old churches, they're made of skulls.
Yeah.
I've seen the church made of skulls. I saw it on the internet.
I've seen the Da Vinci Code or whatever the one. I've read the Da Vinci.
The Dan Brown masterpiece. Angels and Demons.
I've seen the Angels and Demons. There's dead people under there. I know the deal.
And this one looked more like a Methodist church, and it was fine. Yep. And they decided to shoot some arts and crafts. Somebody's aunt had made stained glass names for everyone, and instead of putting them up, they decided they were going to shoot an ancient crossbow.
They were very artsy.
It was fun.
They were very artsy names up there.
It reminded me of Santa Caligon, which for anyone listening is the big craft fair around Kansas City, and that's what it reminded me of. Was like, oh, I feel like I could make one of those.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Maybe we should. Let's make one and shoot each other's name.
Yeah.
Man, they fucking sucked at this.
Oh my god, there is no Katniss Evergreen in that group. My god, they freaking. If I was sitting there, they had to have taken hours in that dang thing, and it was. I mean, it had to be a good
so much
10 minutes of them missing,
clunk,
shooting this thing,
and they lose
missing.
250 every time they miss. Everyone misses the first round. Last name in gets a shield, and John does this big speech right before it starts where he's like, I really need to get myself a shield.
Oh, yeah.
Really excited to try. And then Phaedra goes, I'm going to shoot at John's. And you see his face immediately just, oh, God.
Yeah. And when he goes after to shoot, when he goes up to shoot, he's so mad when he misses. He's like ready to punch somebody.
He says, "For goodness sake, Bercow, do better, man." Like straight up. That line was great. "For goodness sake, Bercow, do better, man." And then before that, when they were all shooting, he goes, "They're going for me like ferrets in a sack," which was your nickname. I mean, he was just, yeah, when he punched that air, whew. Boy. Peak Bercow. The Prince of Narnia. I probably should stop calling it Narnia because we actually have people from the UK who listen to us. So apologies to everyone who is on the other side of the wardrobe. But I am the witch here. And poor Bercow from Narnia, who I still just love to death. He almost made it to the end though. Because they start figuring this thing out. It's kind of like how you have to figure out an arcade machine, right? Once you figure out how it goes, you can start winning tickets like crazy.
Well, I mean, the thing doesn't move. I mean, it moves.
But
if you leave it in one spot,
it'll shoot.
You can zero in on the thing. You see where it misses,
you don't have to steady it.
Just move it.
Yeah, you don't have to steady it.
Just move it a little bit.
It's like one of those.
A teeny bit.
You ever play that old computer game where it was the tanks and you would have to aim the bullets and they would shoot like an arc and you'd blow each other up?
Oh, Atari, yeah, Combat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Combat. Yeah, I'm old.
Yeah,
That's
I played it. I'm the one I brought it up. I'm old too, I guess. A couple of old straight guys watching reality shows.
Pong with tanks.
Yeah, and it was, yeah. I mean, it's just like that. You just move it a little, and then it'll go farther. Oh man! But they finally figure it out. They start shooting them, and then like it happened, like we said, Phaedra starts with Sheree, and I think that this could be it could have been if they would have pushed harder after the game. I think Sheree, I don't know that she would have voted against Phaedra. Maybe she wouldn't have, but I do feel like the effort is worth it for the long game.
I think that it was, I think with that move, okay, so it put doubt in her mind.
Yeah, that's
sure,
first time.
You don't put doubt in your
No,
your
why would you go
after
your friends? What?
Yeah. And then after they did the, okay, so they've cleared everybody out, right?
Yeah.
And except for the top row.
And they keep missing CT.
Yeah.
He's up in the top corner.
Mm-hmm. They keep missing CT. And they've limited everybody except the top row. And then Trishelle is down here
down
in the very
bottom,
corner.
hiding. Probably should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
She's probably in her head thinking, I got this shield, no problem. I mean, she says that.
Yeah, and Phaedra.
Bad move.
Decides.
Just very openly says.
Out loud, hey, we need to let's go for Trishelle. And then she has some, I don't know what her deal is.
There was a terrible reason for it.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is where she loses CT, because CT's a game player, and this is a bad game move. Horrible game move. What are you doing? Oh my goodness. Yeah, she revealed. Now Sandra is missing these clues right now.
Oh yeah.
And it's unfortunately
all of them.
Unfortunately, her naivety and when she says things is making her look like a traitor to other people.
She did start to do that.
Yeah.
All of my past ones, because I've had Sandra as my number one.
I know.
For the past
and
deals.
This was my first week where I thought maybe she's not as safe.
But yeah, that might
I don't think
be
she's
the
like
reason.
immediately chopped, but
she has. That was the reason I had her up there, because she was trying, but she was always wrong.
Yeah.
Every time she was wrong, and I thought that was the reason that those traitors are going to keep her around.
Right.
And I still think that might be the case.
Yeah, I mean, it very well could be.
I still think that might be the case.
I think the thing where she might get in trouble is now she's got some people who are faithfuls who might kick her at a table in the future if things go one way or another at this next episode.
Mm-hmm.
As we go, of course, she goes down, takes out Trishelle, so CT ends up winning the shield. It was down to CT and John, even though all the ferrets in the sack were coming for him.
Oh, yeah.
Bercow did better, man.
Oh, when they all missed him? Oh, when they all missed his deal, he was like, oh. punching the deal when he
Just
tried to.
absolutely.
And then when they
punching
first
air.
hit that first person, which was, I guess, when they went to Cherie, huh?
Yeah, Cherie.
When they first break her, he jumped up. He was so excited.
He's like, yes!
Ah! It was like the freaking.
It looked like, freaking Mega Man.
Well, he was like, oh my God. He was so
Chun-Li.
happy that he did not get broken.
They won more money than I thought they would.
Oh my goodness! I don't know how they won anything.
$15,250. Yeah, I mean, they lost almost $10,000. You lose $250 per thing, 4 per 1,000. So they missed 39 shots. Less than it made it look like, but a lot of missed shots. I'm gonna say that they're. If you missed 39 shots and you hit 8, your percentage is not great, and I'm kicking you off the Halo team. But it's fine, because after the game, we go back to mac and fucking cheese.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's ready
Phaedra
about that
comes
mac
in.
and cheese.
Phaedra's first one.
Yeah,
Mac
she's like,
and
I want that
cheese.
mac and cheese. And then Trishelle's like, sees Peter eating, and she's like, I wish I could have dairy, because that mac and cheese looks great. I mean, everyone wants this mac and cheese.
They put an emphasis on this food.
They do, and it makes me want to go. Like, I want to be on this show just for the food. I can skip the Fear Factor challenge. Everything else I'm good with, and give me the food.
They were all excited about this challenge. They were like, this is a great challenge. This is a great challenge. Yeah, because they had to crawl through bugs.
Yeah,
or
they just got to shoot a Nerf gun, basically.
Grave or
yeah, I would love to shoot an old crossbow. That's not fun. That's like
swim through a damn.
That's not even exercise anymore.
Moat. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, great challenge. Do
Run
more
up
of
a
these.
hill, throw hay,
hill. Yeah.
scarecrows. They don't do none of that.
Easy,
like, yeah,
fucking peasy. And they got mac and cheese.
and
mac
and cheese.
This is your prize for making it this far.
Oh.
That's your prize.
Yeah.
They decide to separate Phaedra.
Kevin is when he watches this, he's gonna be so pissed.
Oh
Kevin's
my
gonna be,
God.
they had fucking mac and cheese.
Can you imagine how much mac and cheese
man.
would be hanging out of Kevin's mouth on
He
this
would've-
episode? It would have just been cheese everywhere.
He would have unplugged that crock pot and brought it up to his room.
Oh, you know that thing
Oh,
had a
my
good
goodness.
cheese pull on it for sure.
Man.
For sure. Sorry,
Kevin's gonna be
Kev.
so
R.I.P.
pissed when he watches
Kev.
this back.
Maybe that's why a piece was missing when Phaedra first walked in. Maybe Kev got a scoop before he left. Maybe someone gave him a plate. I like to think he got a plate. So they separate Phaedra from the group so Trishelle can kind of try to go around and convince people. Peter just straight up confronts Phaedra, just says, I think it's you. Sandra and Kate are trying to eavesdrop, which doesn't help Trishelle's pitch because she interrupts the eavesdropping.
Right.
Yeah, Trishelle thinks it
And
might be
Kate-
Sandra
Kate's
too.
doing the eavesdropping.
Yeah,
right? Is that
yeah,
what you said,
Kate, yeah, Kate and MJ.
MJ, yeah.
Yeah, we're eavesdropping. And Trishelle makes the pitch. MJ says she's open regardless of if they're all from
Yeah.
Bravo. And that was a good line for the producers to focus on because, of course, we get our juicy cliffhangers. Man, I just keep thinking about how Trishelle looks kind of like Sweet D from It's Always Sunny. I didn't think about it until she was all in green like freaking the Eagles. She doesn't look exactly like her, obviously, but just a little like
I don't know if
her.
I know. I've only seen a couple of those. I need to watch.
Oh,
more
man,
of
you
those,
should
Sonny.
for sure. It's great. Let's see. They go to the round table. Well, I mean, that's basically what it is. They try to convince people of Phaedra. Others try to convince people of Peter. I mean, it's a PvP, right? It's Peter versus Phaedra.
Yeah,
That's
PvP.
That's how it's coming down. And you know that you've got the three. They've got CT convinced, but we don't know if they've convinced anyone else.
Yeah, and you don't know.
And
mean,
CT could
think
be
he's
convinced
CT, but
the
you don't
other
know
way,
if he-
too. Yeah.
Right.
He's not fully convinced because Peter
Right.
tried to sell CT on it. He talked to him. It was it was a good convincing.
Especially if somebody comes up with an idea on their own
Yeah.
that they think they've got,
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, oh look, I figured this out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the right. They're going to switch.
Yeah, you're gonna
that'll
love
be
your
the
own
deal.
idea.
Yeah.
Your own ideas are
Yeah,
always the
exactly.
best ideas.
Matt, this is probably my favorite. Maybe probably my favorite roundtable
Of
that
all
they've
time.
had.
Oh man.
Man,
It was hot.
this one was
It started
really
off
good.
excellent.
Oh my goodness.
Our boy fucking Bercow Baggins.
Oh yeah. Well, MJ said. Sandra said. Oh, because they brought her in, and they're like, because the three, the Peter pals were like, we're trying to get you to be in a way. And Sandra looks at John. She's like, I'm gonna listen to what you say at the round table and make my opinion then.
And what does John do but step up to the plate?
Goodness.
The Babe Ruth of Parliament is here.
Oh, man.
He gives a speech of all speeches. We will not go silently into this good night.
Oh, my goodness.
My new hero, he impresses the importance of the moment. If they don't get a traitor today, this is very likely it. This is very likely it. And he breaks it down. He tells Phaedra... Oh. He thinks she's a traitor. He tells her why he thinks she's a traitor. It's so well reasoned. Honestly, if Sandra was listening to this, I could have been swayed. And I think I would have been swayed because...
I was swayed. I wish I would have wrote his speech down. It was so good.
Yeah.
That dude's a freaking lawyer for sure.
And then
in Parliament.
Phaedra responds with what I think is a real bad look, and I am surprised things don't go worse for her because she starts just roasting. She just starts throwing out the insults, and it's like, I mean, it's cool, I guess, if you think you're done, but if you're pretty sure you're still here, you gotta live in the house with these people that you're fucking roasting right now. I don't gotta kiss your ass for a rose, Peter. Ooh. Come on.
Yeah, Peter was not happy about that either.
I mean, it was mean. I loved it. It's a great moment. I'm sure the producers just immediately Oh, man, they were so pumped when that happened. They're like, yes,
speech.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm still thinking about
No, you can't. Speech. How could you forget it?
That was so good.
How could you forget it?
He came out there. I was like,
freaking, he's the William Wallace of the Traitors.
It was a freaking deal from a movie. I'm like, dang.
I think they should make a movie about this season.
I freaking believe everything you say.
And
John Bercow.
They can cast Andy Serkis to play John Bercow, but let me do the voiceover. Don't do that. Phaedra, is insulting everyone. They present
Andy Serkis.
They present a lot of evidence about her, like, killing Kevin because, and then Peter really, to me, gave evidence that made me think, why the hell is anyone voting for him when he says, I knew Bergie had a shield. Why would I have tried to kill him? If I was the traitor, why would I have wasted a turn on a shield person? Now, I know we've played a lot of games. And when you have enough traitors or werewolves, you might waste a turn on someone you know won't die just to try and...
get it off of you.
Yeah, to trick somebody. To try and trick somebody. No one brings that up, of course, but I do think it's a good point.
Well, yeah, and nobody brings up that maybe there wasn't somebody killed off for that it was Bergie that was voted. It didn't have to be Bergie voted. There were two people had freaking
That's true.
shields that time.
That's true.
That just all of a sudden his plan worked somehow.
And suddenly he knew it was Bergie that got voted for.
There two people had shields.
I know he does. It's so funny that we know he's a faithful, and yet if I was playing this game, it would be hard for me to not vote for Peter. And I think it's because other people who play super strong always, like, they set off my sensors. It's like we have a couple of friends who, like, are always really into the details and the stats and boy, do they get killed quick.
Yeah, they do, but they're never the traitors.
I mean, one of them is. Eli has literally been the werewolf every single time we've played the game.
That.
But other than him...
he never gets all out there, though.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He's just the only person that always...
has to defend himself a lot.
Constantly, because he's always the werewolf.
He's always a werewolf, and everybody goes, Eli.
Yeah, immediately. Every time. Which, I mean, statistically speaking, it does end up being him. So we get to the vote. It's been intense.
CT, actually, when it goes to CT...
Oh, yeah.
He brings up the picture...
Yeah.
And he draws a picture of
the three... he did a whole telestrator of the game.
He brings up the deal, and he goes, there's three pictures up here that hadn't been broken.
Mm-hmm.
If you accidentally miss one, you could have hit the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's one way down here by itself in the corner.
What's the strategy here?
What's the strategy there? Why would you go and hit this one down in the corner unless you were a traitor trying to get this person to not have a shield?
Yep. Yep.
And
you're trying to get someone murdered.
Right. The whole deal. And Trishelle was like, yeah, of course. If I'm sitting at this table, I don't know how I would not vote Phaedra.
Yeah, I'm voting Phaedra for sure. Like, I might still think Peter has potential, but I'm at a point now where, yeah, maybe. But
Phaedra's a sure
thing. Phaedra
thing.
is a for sure.
Once you start going off, and now all of a sudden now you just throwing start trying to roast people and throwing
when she started insulting, I would have just been that because that's always the move. That's the rat in the corner move. That's when you know someone's a traitor. A villager gives up, a traitor insults because you're talking to your enemies instead of your friends.
Yeah, I'm not a traitor. You're making a bad move. That's the freaking. That's the deal there.
Like,
not
guys,
you're
gonna lose. We're gonna lose if you kill me. Yeah. You plead. You don't go. Nah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Which is essentially what Peter got. He got a straight up go fuck yourself, Pete. And hey, you know what? PvP. And here's how it goes down. On the vote, Phaedra, of course. Peter. Sandra, who said she was listening, but she could not have been listening.
If she was listening to John...
There's no way she was listening.
Jeesh.
Bercow's speech, she voted for Peter.
I don't even know what he said. I freaking think it was amazing.
I know there was a tear coming out of my eye. I haven't cried in at least a week.
I had a thing of popcorn watching this thing.
Yeah.
I was like...
My popcorn was plain, and then it was salted afterwards because of all those tears.
He's getting my vote for an Emmy.
I feel like a man after listening to that speech.
Can you get Emmys for these?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
He deserves one. He deserves a Pulitzer.
Yeah, put him back. I'm freaking hire him to if I ever get jail for being cool.
So Sandra did not listen and voted Peter.
Yeah.
But Phaedra gets 4 in a row, which we knew she'd get. She gets Peter, John Trishelle, the last 3 of the Faithful 5. She gets CT, who, very clearly drew out on the diagram. Now, Sheree still votes Peter, but I honestly wasn't sure if she would or not. But she did. She seemed like she's got a little waver in her. So if Phaedra makes it through this round, I think she could be convinced.
That's what I think. Because she had it. That's why I think, especially with the diagram thing and showing that this was the last person, and then her putting 2 and 2 together of she was going to aim for me over here.
Yep.
Why would she do that? They have a whole freaking thing of things.
Yeah.
Why would she aim for me now? Why'd she make it?
Yeah, why'd she go for me? Yeah, and immediately.
She could be putting that together.
Now, Kate, interesting position to be in, but she stays loyal and votes Peter. I think if I'm Kate in this situation, and I know there only needs to be 5 votes, and Phaedra has already done multiple things that I'm like thinking, you're showing your cards more than I would like. You're endangering me right now with all the heat. I don't know. I'm not as a traitor. You're already a traitor. I might have thrown her under the bus.
I think
because she's not voting for you on the way out.
I think keeping her in though, helps.
It does. It does.
Because if you get her out, it starts over. Things start over.
Right.
And MJ had already was calling her out at the beginning there.
That's a good point. That's a good point. She did already she's already got the cracks.
Heat, and she knows it's there. Let it stay on her.
That's a great point. You do keep her there. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
If there was any, if it was like overwhelming, if it's overwhelming, you knew that they were going to vote for Phaedra.
Yeah.
Then yes, but you knew that some of them were going to vote for Peter. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Vote for Peter.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You already made the case the last time you were there about Peter. I think to save her own deal in it.
Yeah, because it makes more sense. It's more
Yeah.
consistent for her to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would be more revealing, honestly. You're right.
Right now, they don't know that there's another traitor.
That's true. They don't know how many there are at all.
Yeah.
She
And
didn't
they
even know it was.
assume that
She thought
she's
there
a
was more than
faithful.
Phaedra. Right.
She assumes that she's a faithful, and I mean, she played like she's a faithful up until the entire time to this one.
Yeah, and I loved her continuing to try and convince herself that that was reality, that she was faithful and Peter was traitor. Like, love that. That's the way to get that. That's Daniel Day-Lewis right there. Okay, that is getting into the character, it's living the character. I mean, well done, Below Deck Kate.
Below Deck Kate.
Now we're tied 4-4. PvP. 4 for P. 4 for P.
Mm-hmm.
MJ's our last vote. The other one who said she'd have an open mind.
Yep.
And I guess F you, Peacock, because we don't get the vote. But okay, I get it. I'm very excited for the next episode. I went back. I tried to pause it. You can't tell. You don't know. I tried. I tried to see. I want to know if Bercow convinced somebody, because I feel like my boy, he might get toasted if that was too good of a speech. He might get toasted if he sticks around.
Yeah, I think, that's my problem with him now, because
That speech was good.
and they showed him that this was his episode.
You don't
this
just
was
let
his episode. I think he might be going next time.
This is his peak. I'm with you. I think
we
he's
gotta
gone
show him
tonight.
off. This was his episode. He might be going.
I can't
next time.
turn on him. I'm gonna keep him at number one just in case. I gotta stick with my guns. But I agree that you're probably right. This was his swan song.
Who do you? So do you think she's gonna go, Phaedra or Peter? MJ.
I'm gonna probably be wrong, but I actually think she's voting for Peter. I think the Traitors are gonna.
You think she's gonna go Peter?
Yeah, but I don't think that's gonna help Phaedra in any way.
Here's what I think. Okay, so here's how about this then?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say she doesn't.
Yeah.
Let's say she votes Phaedra.
Okay.
Okay. She needs to get out of there. I
Right.
think she needs to vote Phaedra out. Even if she doesn't go out, she's going to be going out next episode somehow.
Yeah,
unless they
she
figure out some
can't
way
stick
not to.
around at this point. There's too much heat.
So then that happens. If she gets voted out, they're going to recruit another freaking...
That's true.
Who do you recruit? Who does Kate recruit?
I think Kate... Ooh. What if Kate recruited John? That's what I would do after that rousing speech.
Mm-hmm.
He's a politician.
Mm-hmm.
Politicians know how to take backdoor deals.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's very much can talk himself out of stuff and whatever. So if he needs to...
Threaten to kill him. If if it's the same situation where he dies or stays, I'm going with John.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
After that speech, I want that on my
like
side. I want that on my
like it.
side. Who do you pick? That mac and cheese.
Maybe CT.
Ooh, CT's a good pick.
CT. Maybe CT.
I feel like I would get along with CT.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people trust him. And
yeah.
he knows how to play a game.
And because people go around trying to get them on their side. So if they're trying to get him on their side,
they don't think he's bad.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And I think he's kept it below enough to where he's not going to get too much. I don't think his behavior will change that much.
That's why my pick to survive this week is CT.
CT to survive this week. Wait, okay.
All of those reasons.
Sheree last time, right?
Yep.
Sheree, we both picked Sheree.
We did.
Okay. I'll pick, you know what? I'm going to pick, I'm picking Phaedra or Peter. That's for dang
No.
sure. That's for dang
too much
sure.
heat.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick MJ. I'm gonna pick MJ.
That was the other one
Pick
I
MJ.
thought about picking, actually.
I don't think
She's one of my dark horses right now, actually. MJ's my number 3, actually, this week.
Oh, you're picking MJ as your number 3?
Yeah.
I don't know if I should change anything. I think I had CT at 3 last time. I think I have no reason to change CT.
Yeah, you don't.
I have no reason
He's
to change
doing
CT.
great.
I might even have to move him up at some point just because I think he might get recruited somehow.
I'm putting him at number 2.
Ooh, CT?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I think he played this game great. I think he was convinced properly. I think you're right. He might get recruited because people know he knows how to play, and he'd be in a great position if he got recruited.
Yeah. I think this week I'm going to move Sandra down to number 2.
Okay.
Just because of the
first signs of weakness for sure.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take her out. The only reason I have it in there because she's I think that the freaking Traitors will keep her in.
Oh yeah. Because she's just always wrong.
Yeah, and she's very adamant every time she is wrong.
Oh yeah.
And they're gonna bring her on
the confidently incorrect are the most dangerous.
Yeah. So yeah, and then maybe I'll move Below Deck Kate up to number 1.
It's a good choice. I'm sticking with my boy, John Bercow.
That's what he should have done.
Bercow. Come on, Bercow. Do better, man.
Nice.
Do better, man.
Do better.
I love this show. Thank you so much for everyone who watches along with the Traitors US Season 2 on Peacock right now. We also have other podcasts that we'd love for you to listen to. We have our main podcast, the Bottom Boys Cast, where we get to the bottom of all of life's most serious problems. We got a couple of shows coming up. On March 8th at the Rhino, we'll be having the Arson Club Live. It's our spring cleaning showcase. We'll be having local comics Evan Christian Golt and Casey Famous on there, and I believe they'll be joining us on the Bottom Boys here potentially on the next episode. Also on, I just booked this today, March 3rd or 10th. I'm going to do a guest spot at the what is now the Funny Bone. Used to be the Improv over there in Zona Rosa. Now it's the Funny Bone. Which,
really?
Yeah, I like that change. Big fan of that.
Nice.
Funny Bone's got like the little cartoon guy in the logo. So
who you guesting for?
I actually don't. I didn't recognize the comedian's name, so I should have remembered that before mentioning it. But that's okay. I'll look it up. And then I'm going to be recording the hour at the Rhino in April 19th, and that's really why I hit up to try and get on to do those guest spots, because I gotta practice. Is there anything else we want to plug?
I've got I got nothing to plug besides what you said, right? We don't have.
I got a fat ass and a bad attitude.
I've got, yeah.
And a J. Yeah, I think that's it for us this week. Thank you so much for everyone who's been listening along. Shout out to New York, Los Angeles, Dallas, Washington, D.C., and Atlanta, because that's where we're listened to most. But also Canada and the UK. What's up to the Queen's 2 largest lands?
Yeah.
I guess she's gone. The King's 2 largest lands. R.I.P. the Queen. Long live the King.
We should shout out
Shout out to the Princess
commenters
Diana
on our
Beanie Babies.
YouTubes.
Shout out to everyone who's been commenting on the YouTube. I heard someone said they liked the song, so I just kind of did the same one this time. I was like, yeah.
Nice.
They're like, oh, I like the song, so I stuck around. I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna do it again. That's the first. Hell yeah. It's because it's good. It was good. Yeah. So thank you so much for leaving your comments. Please let us know what you think. Who's playing right? Who's playing wrong? Which one of us is a dumbass? I know I am, but how dumb is Paul? Not as dumb as me.
Asian.
Yeah, so you're automatically
can be.
smarter. Yeah. I mean, look at you. You've got glasses, you've got detective hat, you've got detective pipe. I'm screwed. You know everything. I'm just some schmuck. Who am I?
Perception
Monk?
is the...
I'm not Monk. Monk's smarter than me.
Perception is reality.
I'm not Monk. I'm whatever Thomas Hayden Church's character was in Wings, the mechanic. All right, I'm getting too obscure. We're going to wrap this up, y'all. We'll see you next week. And you know what? Go Bercow. Bercow for life.
Bercow.
Bercow.